Chapter 20. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that was a householder, who went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard.
So Jesus again is talking about the kingdom of heaven, which is pretty much his message always. Both he and John the Baptist were preparing people for the kingdom of heaven was at hand. And now he's talking about what the kingdom of heaven is like. And he had recently talked about who is made up, or who makes up the kingdom of heaven, such as children. So it's a constant message. He's talking about the kingdom of heaven. And it seems that the Jews and even the disciples viewed it as an earthly kingdom, possibly. When they said kingdom, they almost always thought an earthly king and a rule on earth. And the disciples have just been asking about who's greatest in the kingdom and can I sit on your right and left in the kingdom. And I'm not sure what they thought, but I believe the kingdom of heaven is talking about the spiritual kingdom where Jesus is king and his chosen children are among the saved who will be with him forever. Now, I don't think it's necessarily only something that's going to be in our future after we die, but we're probably living in the kingdom right now. I'm convinced that we are in the kingdom right now. Even before we die, and after we die, we will continue in the kingdom because it will always stand.
And when he had agreed with the laborers for a shilling a day, he sent them into his vineyard.
So early in the morning, he agrees to workers for a shilling a day.
And he went out about the third hour, and saw others standing in the marketplace idle. And to them he said, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they...
Notice that the master says, I will give you whatever is right. Now, there's no indication that the workers had any idea how much would be right. But they had to trust in the master that whatever he would do would be right.
And they went their way. Again he went out about the 6th and the 9th hour, and did likewise. And about the 11th hour he went out, and found others standing. And he saith unto them, Why stand ye here all the day idle? They say unto him, Because no man hath hired us. He saith unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard. And when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, Call the laborers, and pay them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a shilling.
So at this point, I'm sure the people who were hired at the 11th hour that only worked 1 hour were more than elated to get a day's wage for only working an hour. But you think about what the people started thinking when they saw the 1 hour people get a shilling, and those who worked 12 hours, they thought maybe they were going to get 12 times that much.
And when the first came, they supposed that they would receive more, and they likewise received every man a shilling. And when they received it, they murmured against the householder, saying, These last have spent but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us, who have borne the burden of the day and the scorching heat. But he answered and said to one of them, Friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst not thou agree with me for a shilling? Take up that which is thine, and go thy way. It is my will to give unto this last, even as unto thee. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? Or is thine eye evil, because I am good? So the last shall be first, and the first last.
So this is just hits right on a point that most people struggle with. People have the mindset that if they work harder than others in the kingdom and spiritual things, they're a Christian for longer than other people. That they have abstained from sinful lusts and desires for longer than others, that they should have a greater reward. But these people agreed to a shilling a day from the beginning, and they got what they asked for or what they agreed to. It was perfectly right of the master to give them what they agreed to. If the master wants to be gracious and merciful to some and give them a reward that they didn't work as hard for, then it's up to the master to do that. And Jesus is saying the kingdom of heaven is like this. There will be some who get the same reward as others, but yet didn't work as long or as hard. And if those who were first and worked the longest and hardest are jealous or envious because of that, then he says, is thine eye evil? Because I am good. If God wants to be gracious and merciful to someone else, we should be happy for those other people, that God is gracious and merciful to them, because God is gracious and merciful to us. We can be jealous because someone had an easier ride than us, or think that we deserve a greater reward than someone else, when our reward is completely based on the will of the Father, the will of the Master. And we have to trust that what he does is right and good.
And as Jesus was going up to Jerusalem, he took the 12 disciples apart, and on the way he said unto them, Behold, we go up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man shall be delivered unto the chief priests and scribes, and they shall condemn him to death, and shall deliver him unto the Gentiles to mock and to scourge and to crucify, and the third day he shall be raised up.
I believe this is the third time that the book of Matthew has recorded specifically how Jesus outlines his death and resurrection in Jerusalem at the hands of the chief priests and scribes. And I'm not convinced that the disciples even understood what to expect, even though Jesus plainly said it. So Jesus, knowing the future, this is evidence that Jesus knows the future. He knew what death he was going to die and the purpose that he was going to accomplish by that.
Then came to him the mother of the sons of Zebedee with her sons, worshipping him and asking a certain thing of him. And he said unto her, What wouldest thou? She saith unto him, Command that these my 2 sons may sit, one on thy right hand and one on thy left hand, in thy kingdom. But Jesus answered and said, Ye know not what ye ask.
So, I don't know what she was thinking. Possibly a physical kingdom on earth. But whatever she was thinking, Jesus confirms that she doesn't even understand what she's asking. She's asking the wrong thing, and she don't even understand the nature of the kingdom, or the nature of the heart of those who would be in the kingdom, which was the heart of a servant, not those who seek to be great.
Are ye able to drink the cup that I am about to drink? They said,
that cup that he's about to drink is a cup of anguish and punishment, beating, a physical beating, and crucifixion.
Say unto him, We are able.
Again, I don't think they understood what they were saying at that point either.
He saith unto them, My cup indeed ye shall drink, but to sit on my right hand and on my left hand is not mine to give.
So he says, you will be punished, and you will be tortured and killed the same way as me. But it's not in my authority to give who will sit on the right and left.
But it is for them for whom it hath been prepared of my Father.
Now, Jesus says, whoever will sit on my right and left, it will be that those who receive that reward will be the ones that the Father prepares for it to be. It's not like whoever is the greatest or whoever works the hardest will be given that reward, but it's whoever the Father plans for it to be and prepares for it to be. Those will be the ones that receive that reward.
And when the 10 heard it, they were moved with indignation concerning the 2 brethren.
Now, were they indignant because they wanted to be great in the kingdom also, or were they indignant because they saw the bad attitude that James and John had of pride?
But Jesus called them unto him and said, Ye know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. Not so shall it be among you. But whosoever will become great among you shall be your minister, and whosoever will be first among you shall be your servant.
So the greatest in the kingdom will be the one who serves, the one who humbles himself and serves other people, which is the opposite of what you would expect in an earthly kingdom. This is a spiritual kingdom.
Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many.
So Jesus says he would give his life a ransom for many, not for all. So when Jesus came and died, I would say he didn't die for all, or else all would be saved. He died for many, for those who would receive his mercy and grace. Those are the ones for whom he died. Because it's our salvation and justification is not based on what we do, but it's based on the mercy and grace of God.
And as they went out from Jericho, a great multitude followed him. And behold, 2 blind men sitting by the wayside, when they heard that Jesus was passing by, cried out, saying, Lord, have mercy on us, thou Son of David.
So again, we're recording a healing in the book of Matthew.
And the multitude rebuked them, that they should hold their peace. But they cried out the more, saying, Lord, have mercy on us, thou Son of David. And Jesus stood still and called them, and said, What will ye that I should do unto you? They say unto him, Lord, that our eyes may be opened.
Now, Jesus knew what they wanted, but he still asked, what would you want me to do for you? That was probably an opportunity for them to demonstrate a spiritual desire instead of a physical desire, but yet their minds were fixed on only physical things.
And Jesus, being moved with compassion, touched their eyes, and straightway they received their sight and followed him.
So even though Jesus knew that their concern was on physical things and their eyesight, he still had compassion on them and touched their eyes and healed them. So that's Matthew chapter 20. I would appreciate any of your comments down below.